your read is is Joel Embiid, right? I mean, he's just going in, kind of in out move. Tobias Harris is going under this screen. Joel Embiid's barely got a foot on the 3-point line, so he just wants to freeze both defenders. So he does that in out, pushing off of his right foot, foot replacement, right, left. So it's kind of like he's sliding across. He wants to create lateral separation from Tobias. All right. So as he's going, jab right, left, right, push back, shot. Now Tobias Harris has a lot more ground to cover. It's actually a really good contest. But when you're that good and you're that tall and you're that skilled, it's just cotton candy. Shishaka. And he's talking. He's jawing at him. So here we just have he's just who's that up there? Kyrie? Yeah, that's Kyrie. So he's kind of just dancing with him. I mean, in this scenario, this is not what you want high school basketball or AAU basketball to become. And I think this is one of the differences between Europeans and Canadians in the style of play. You know, going ISO, you want to have a matchup, where you have a huge advantage. So if he had a big on him here or a really small guard, you know, Kyrie's not a terrible defender at this point. I think in his career, he probably was selective about his defensive energy. So as you see here, let's just watch it in full motion. Through behind, just a quick heavy pull. I mean, that's all that was. He was just playing one-on-one. Cross. Now we kind of get into that load step where you see where he's hanging that ball off of his left hip. All right. He's not super low, but Kyrie, that looks like a drive. And then he jabs that left foot into the ground and then brings that right foot up like it's a hezzy. And there's just nothing you can do about that. Release rotation. Cotton candy. Okay, here we go. Now we got Maxey and Harden in a ball screen. Oh, this should be good. All right. James Harden is in a very he basically, and now you're going to see what he's doing. He's going left foot, drag step, brings that left foot back, left, right, create a bunch of space. He could pump fake right there if he wanted, but he's 6'8". He's like, why? Maxey can't block this. Great extension. I mean, you see his elbow, his follow through, his guide hand, his feet, and his body's kind of tilted back. I think elite shooters kind of use that tilt to create a little bit more separation. But he's not fading left or right. And I think that's really important. A lot of youth players, when they try to learn new footwork patterns, they're floating left or right rather than just fading their body straight up and down, if that makes sense. So that lean, you're still coming straight up and down. Your feet might land a little bit forward, but you're not landing left or right, and you're not, fading left or right. So I really like Tatum's execution here. His feet, he lands on balance, he shoots on balance. He doesn't hold his follow through for very long. Oh, did that go in? Thanks. All right, here we go. Let's watch this in full mo. He's just dribbling, dancing. I mean, look at this gap defense right here. I mean, they're basically in a huge gap, and the guy on the ball is still not pressuring him and making him drive. All right, so that basically means, all right, he's just going to be able to do what he wants. All right, there's nobody really forcing him to drive. So he's just going to play one-on-one, AAU style. And now he gets into that footwork pattern. So he goes dancing. So he's going through, cross. He kind of does that lateral skip, left, right. All right, and he just is natural with it, nice and smooth with it. Probably got fouled. All right, too easy. Cotton candy. All right, he's coming down, surveying in kind of a broken transition. The Pistons get back. I mean, they're loaded up right here. think Burks doesn't want to get too hot, get up too high. Nobody really likes getting up into Tatum. All right, so they're going to go into a dribble handoff. All right, Burks is going to chase over. Stewart's kind of now has to be at the same level as Williams as he's dropping. All right, which means Burke has to stay connected to his hip. It's not great defense here because Burks kind of loses contact with him. And if you see, boom, just a little two-man game at the top. Burks kind of gets tagged. See how he lost contact on his hip right there, which is not an easy thing to do. Not 99.9% of the world cannot stay connected to an NBA player's hip. But your goal as a defender is to stay aggressive and force him into that drive or into a mid-range pull-up. You want to give up a mid-range contested two, rather than, a pretty easy three-pointer here. So I think Burks, instead of staying on his hip and forcing him into Stewart and into the corner, all right, this footwork pattern that Tatum uses is just, very unique step back. It's basically right jab, push back, left foot, right foot. Oh, come on, YouTube. See kind of his feet. I mean, look where his feet are pointing for all those, old school shooting coaches that, want five toes to the rim. Great shooters, they can have their toes all over the place, but I think most shooters that are right-handed have that kind of 45 to, straight on, where their toes can be pointed in any direction sometimes. And mostly you're looking at his upper mechanics. He's going to bring that elbow in. It's actually a decent contest at the end of it, but it's a three-point contest. Foul through, cotton candy. And I think, he's basically pushing off his right foot, landing on his left foot. It's kind of a sidestep, kind of a step back footwork. Oh, hey, Sophia Stolberg. What do you, well, I got to cancel you out. She's a CEO and she's a co-founder. I wonder what she's doing. The production value of HB is out of this world. You'd think that a former pro basketball player of 13 years would just like get all the bells and whistles, but no, I'm okay. We can skip it now. All right, who's he got here? He's going a little ISO. He's doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's gonna start dancing, in out through, cross through, in out. Now he's gonna put that gas pedal on. He's got a big on him, and I think if you have bigs that are a little slow of foot, you can dance, but then when you go, all the dancing is just kind of setting up that initial move and then your next counter move. And I think Tatum does a really good job of getting him off balance, going into that first move, and then he goes into a wraparound, quick wraparound. Watch what he does with his left hand here. See how he's already initiating the counter move? He's going to pull, all right, I think this is Christian Woods. He's going to pull his body and go by him. All right, now that's going to put a little bit more leverage on Woods. He's going to go into that right foot jab over to his left, kind of traditional step back. I mean, this is actually pretty good defense. I mean, he's contesting a mid-range shot, just great offense. And you'll notice how Tatum uses that right leg kind of as like a buffer. I call that like the Kobe buffer. Use that right leg as kind of a protector from the defender getting in your personal space as you're jumping. If some refs will see that, call foul. It's actually kind of an offensive foul, but it's hard to see in real time. I mean, but just look at that release. His left leg is very vertical. And I think that's kind of the core pillar of his shot. It's straight up and down vertically through that left. If you drew a line through his spine down to his left toe, he's staying very up and down. I mean, he's not fading left or right. He's jumping off that left leg. So I really like his balance. He's kind of leaning back with that fade, but again, he's not falling left or right. Catch shot. All right, here we go. Now we're going to get into Miami Heat. Oh gosh, what do we got? Who do we got? This is one of the Martin twins guarding him. I mean, this here is just execution through behind. He's kind of surveying where is everybody through right jab, kind of that over jab, and then he's going to go out of it. Left jab, step back, left, right. I mean, it's just crazy that he can create this much separation. I mean, this footwork for a 6'1", 6'5" guard, okay, these are not great shots, unless you're the next Jayson Tatum, and some of you guys that are working on this, I would recommend doing this in in 12 to 15 feet. Play small sided games of one on one, with 3, 4 dribbles and practice this footwork, pattern it out, block it out. And I'll show you how to do that later in this video where you can start to just get reps of the footwork, add moves up close to the hoop, and then you scoot back. And then that's kind of block training where you're doing the same thing over and over. Your muscle memory is getting it. And then you go into live one on one. But play live one on one where you're working in small spaces, in the lane from the free throw line, 4 or 5 dribbles, and then get into a footwork pattern where you can actually not shoot, NBA distance threes, as a 12 to 17-year-old. Like no college coach is going to want you to shoot this shot unless you're the next, unless you're in the top 10 draft pick. And even then, a Cooper Flag rarely shot this. All right. I mean, so be very selective about when you shoot this shot, how you shoot it, maybe at the end of quarters or end of shot clock scenarios. But you don't want a coach to take you out for a bad shot selection. All right, so here we go, right into a drag screen. LeBron kind of is in that high and that flat hedge. So as you see him coming down here, all right, typically what you want, he's using a screen to the sideline, which then is giving Tatum this whole right side of the empty side to play one-on-one. LeBron actually does a decent job of trying to pressure him. I mean, when he was younger, he'd probably be able to do this with a lot less effort. All right, but now he's already in kind of, he's, trying to contain him. Now Tatum's just playing one-on-one. He's just in his bag. He's just going at him. I mean, this is just a tough shot. He's just going through, messes up, boom, spin. Okay, he's fade away. I mean, he doesn't even have control of the ball. He's just so good at, spinning, using that footwork. Now, this is why footwork is so important. Okay, he's got Kelly Olynyk on him. I don't even know why they would allow this to happen. I think they're going to say, hey, come double me. Oh, no, they're just going to let me shoot against you. Okay. So this is obviously a problem. If I'm an NBA coach, I might put this player in the gap, right? I'm not gonna let Kelly here be on an island. This guy should be in the gap. They're concerned about this other action happening, right? But if you're here, you should be seeing the ball and man, right? See how both of their heads are turned? He's not even worried about the ball. Why are you worried about Peyton Pritchard? Like, get your foot in here. If they set a flare screen, you guys can always switch that later. But you want to be able to stop the team's best player, right? And I think, okay, he didn't call glass there, but I think we'll let that one slide. It's just, the better prepared you are, the luckier you get. And that's a common quote amongst all pro basketball players. The harder you work, the more prepared you are. The more prepared you are, the luckier you get. And so why not hit a glass shot? All right, I don't know what's happening here, but already, I mean, like, this is not good. Oh, okay, we're just going to dice you up and leave you on an island here. So he's going cross, through, step back, shot. Just dancing, just playing in his bag. It's just so easy. All right. Tatum just loves to just kind of lull you to sleep. All right. This is kind of one of his classic sidesteps. This is one of the shots that I'll go over later. All right. So as you're watching this, all right, he's going to just lull him to sleep, pound, pushes off that left foot about 3 or 4 feet of space, right foot, left foot. So again, right foot pound, pushes off, right foot lands, left foot lands. He's already up into his shot. All right, it's not bad defense. It's just hard to block that shot when you got a 6'8" guy who has that footwork in his package. He's really he must be feeling it here because if you see his right foot again, he likes to use that right foot as kind of a buffer. His left foot lands. Let's see where he shoots from. I mean, he's gonna. So his left foot. I mean, he is fading right there. He probably fades like 6 inches, which makes that a little bit lower percentage shot. But if you're feeling it, it doesn't really matter sometimes where your feet are pointing, where they're landing. That's when the hoop looks like an ocean, and you're throwing baby minnows into a fishing net. Just just throwing them fishing minnows, baby. What? What am I even talking about? All right. Okay. Again, you're gonna see a lot of ISO here. I mean, this is just like your classic hezzy footwork. Again, I haven't seen these. I'm seeing them in real time. So he loads that hezzy right foot. Sorry, left foot, right foot. So his right foot is back. His left hand and ball are in that floating pattern. So you see here, he can drive out of that. He can whip a left-handed pass in here. All right, he can also freeze this defender in that left-right hezzy. So in a left-right hezzy shooting footwork, you're basically going left, right up into your shot. I mean, it's not bad defense, but just look at how tall Tatum is. Like this guy, I don't even know who's guarding him. This guy's like 6'10", and Tatum is a foot and a half over him on this release. It must like if I could do anything for a day, I think it would be to just be like with the skill set. I think my skill set is similar, but I'm 6'1", so this shot is really hard for me to get off. You have to have such a more your bag has to be even deeper, even bigger, even quicker, even more explosive when you're 6 foot to 6'3", and I think that's the difference. When you add size and athleticism, now you're talking about what an NBA player is. It's not always the skill sets are that much different between a college player and an NBA player, but the size, the athletic IQ, the confidence, the competitive mindset to just work and work and work until you are the best at your craft. And I think most kids don't realize that. I mean, this is such a hard shot. I mean, he's got a huge guy on him. I mean, that thing barely hits a cotton candy. All right, so we're gonna go now. So you guys kind of have seen that. Now let's go over into something that I did, which is kind of very low budget, which that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of low. I don't want that sound. I'm pretty proud of low budget. So what I'm doing here is I'm just working on getting to that side step where you push off, you can hold that ball. Once you pick up the ball, you push and then collect and then shot. And then I'm just trying to stay straight up and down with my shooting footwork. Again, I'm a 6'2", former 13-year pro guard, played at Kent State, all-time leading scorer. But, I never did this footwork as a pro. Like, I did step-back footwork, but never sidestep. So I think even just being able to hezzy sidestep. So I'm just kind of hanging that ball. Like, if you look at that last shot, let's see what I'm doing here. I like all that, my nice black getup. Like, I'm going to a funeral or something. So I'm just working on just boom, push off my right foot, left foot, right foot. Again, similar footwork pattern. And I'm just trying to make 5 shots in a row on both sides, using both. I'm probably like 8 to 10 feet away here. And I'm just working on, I don't play basketball anymore, but sometimes I just have fun working on different footwork patterns because I never learned these. So it's kind of fun to see what is being invented in the game today and then just go do it, and this is how I would block train. So I would just block train. I'm going to make 5 going right, 5 going left, 5 in a row, and then I would start to move back. And I would do this for probably 30 minutes, just working on different moves. So I'm just boom, right foot, left foot, push off that right foot, left foot. So I have it right hand, I'd push off, and then I'd do the next one with my left hand. So I like to almost act like I'm going to be going. I'm not doing a good job of looking like I'm going into a hezzy because I'm kind of standing straight up. So don't do that. Don't do what a 45-year-old man would do in his free time. But again, I'm trying to stay vertical. I'm following through. I think I should hold my follow through till the ball goes in the net. Now I'm stepping back. I'm going back even further. And I think you just want to get into different dribble patterns here. So in, out, through, behind, step back, push off that right foot. All right, through, behind, in, out, right, step back to the left again, sidestep. All right, so just working on different stuff. Left hand. See how now I'm kicking my right foot out, kind of like Tatum. But I think just now from this like block training, this isn't enough. Now you got to play one on one. Give yourself 4 or 5 dribbles. Play in small spaces at first. See if you can create space, and you have to stay in the free throw lane and play one on one because you want to be able to create space in small spaces. And I think typically when you play 3-on-3 or 5-on-5, there's not realistic help side defense. And if you're getting somebody to guard you, get different styles of players. Get a tall, athletic defender, get a short, quick defender, get a bulldog, get a strong guy, get a skinny guy. You want to play one-on-one against as many body types as you can. For me, when I was trying to play D1 basketball before I got to Kent State and ended up, nobody really wanted me out of high school. So for me, it was I have to develop and train and these kind of on my own time and develop these footwork patterns and shots and improving my accuracy, my efficiency. If you can't make 5, 10 of these in a row, you should not be shooting them in games. And I think a lot of kids, think, oh, I went 2 for 6, 1-on-0 in this block training. You should be able to go 5 for 5, 6 for 6, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and especially up close. I don't think you should be moving back to the 3-point line until you can prove that you're efficient from in close and you're using the same mechanics. So, again, I hope you guys liked it. This is my Jason Tatum sidestep footwork breakdown, film breakdown. Again, I'm super excited about this low budget. I don't have all the bells and whistles. I do have a sweet microphone because I make music on the side, so I use this microphone for my music production. But I am not going to add any bells or whistles or thumbnails. Like, this is just bones, straight bones and blood and grit kind of basketball film study. So I don't know why I said that. None of that made sense. Hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. I do this for my HB Elite program. If you guys are in Michigan, you're always welcome to come up and try out our camps with a lot of our trainers. We've worked with Mr. and Miss Basketballs. We've worked with pros. As a former 13-year pro who had a cup of tea with the Phoenix Suns, I just want to iterate. Listen, basketball is about progress. It's about loving the process. If your destination is college basketball or the NBA, you have to fall in love with this process of developing your footwork, developing your efficiency as a shooter. And if you can't do it on your own time, don't tell me that's really what you want to be, because these pro players, the LeBrons, the superstars that we see, they're beasts. They put in millions and millions of hours of reps on their own. And I think so many kids today, like when they get in the gym, one, they're not intentional, they're not focused, they're not pushing themselves to get out of their comfort zone. Like, if I was a college athlete or trying to play in college, if I don't make 5 in a row, like I give myself, like, let's say a minute to make 5 in a row, I'm doing something. I'm running a gut buster. I'm running, I'm doing a tornado drill with the basketball in my hand, doing full court moves. I want to put a standard on myself where I have to push myself to improve and go game speed. As you're learning footwork, go slow-mo, slow it down, really focus on the footwork like I'm doing in these drills. But then as you get better, you want to add intensity and effort. And that's how you level up. 1% better every day happens when you keep adding that intensity and focus and intention to your drills and your workouts, whether you're with a partner, whether you're a team, practice drills, get the most out of it. All right. See you later.